Hello, and greetings to all our friends. We hope you're all coping well with our level 3 restrictions. Greetings especially to those in nursing homes who are most affected by these restrictions, and especially to Care Choice Trim, where we visit every week. We hope you're still singing there, still reciting poetry, and we hope to see you in 3 weeks or so. Our music and poetry this week is not confined by any level 3 restrictions. We're heading to Athlone, Gilsenan, even to America for poetry. We're also going to Stansted Airport and Creeslaw in County Donegal. So enjoy this trip with myself and Matt. But we're going to stay in County Meath for our first item. We're going to go to Navan, but we're going to go back in time to 1987 to that gala concert. And we're going to hear Matt Gilsenan himself sing a Percy French song. So I hope you enjoy this.
Dear Danny, I'm taking the pen in hand to tell you I'm just outside the land. On the Grand Allen liner I'm sailing in style, though I'm sailing away from the Emerald Isle. And the fair sort of song seemed to come from us all, as the waves hit basket around Donegal. Oh, it's grand to be you, that is taking your time, where they're cutting the corn in Creeslaw Place. There's a woman on board that knows Katie by sight, and we talked about times till they put out the light. I've to meet the good woman tomorrow on deck, and we'll talk about Katie from here to Quebec. Oh, I know that you're her known Appalachian, with her house and 2 cows, and her brother a priest. Still the woman says Katie's her mind on the sea, while mine's with the reapers in Creeslaw Lane. For I think the soft waters guide the side of the head, for it leaps from the eyes when I call to remind the friends and the friends I leave behind. How still she might wait when I bid her goodbye. There was just the next taste of a tear in her eye, and the break in her voice when she said, you might stay, and before you'll come back to Waterloo's someday.
This poem came about as a result of returning home through Stansted Airport from a visit to London at some stage. It seems a long time ago since we could do that so easily. And I suppose it's really about this being a small world. Stansted Airport. I met a woman in the boarding queue from the other side of Tubbercurry. I recognised her accent. She knew my brother's wife had been over to bury a first cousin. We mocked the formality of English funerals, old hymns and sherry, freezers, top hats, recalled the humanity of our own fathers' funeral rites, the friends and neighbours, hospitality of tea and sandwiches and cake, late night whiskey, tales of struggle and achievement. How in the 50s her father brought light and power along the mountainside, went house to house with sockets, bulbs and cable. How mine saved mountain turf, not content until a winter's stock was stacked at our gable. At Dublin, I wished her a good trip west and drove home, glad to be back, but unable to shake off a vague feeling of unrest. Travelling always makes me feel like that, as if I've returned from another failed quest.
Hello, Michael, and greetings to everybody. I would like to dedicate this song to all my friends in Athlone. Believe it or not, I have friends in Athlone, alive and well, and living on Facebook. This was recorded by John McCormick, and it's called The Tumble Down Shack in Athlone. Now, John, of course, was from Athlone, and I don't know if this song was ever recorded by Louis Brown or Jackie Levy or Tygo O'Regan or any of those other lads who crossed my life in days gone by. But here it is anyway. I'm a long way from home, and my thoughts ever roam to old Erin far over the sea. For my heart it is there, where the skies are so fair, and old Ireland is calling for me. Oh, I want to go back to that tumble-down shack, where the wild roses bloom round the door, just to pillow my head on that old trundle bed, just to see my dear mother once more. There's a bright gleaming light guiding me home tonight, down the long road of white cobblestone, down the road that leads back to the tumble-down shack, to the tumble-down shack in Athlone. There are eyes that are sad as they watch for a lad in that old-fashioned town of Athlone, and I pray for the day when I'm sailing away to old Ireland and mother my own. Oh, I want to go back to the tumble-down shack, where the wild roses bloom round the door, just to pillow my head in that old trundle bed, just to see my dear mother once more. There's a bright gleaming light guiding me home tonight, down the long road of white cobblestone, down the road that leads back to the tumble-down shack, to the tumble-down shack in Athlone. That was it. I hope somebody enjoyed it out there. Thank you very much.
Now I'm going to read some poems by an American poet, Shel Silverstein, who died in 1999. He was a cartoonist, a songwriter, and a writer of children's poetry. And like the best children's poetry, his poems can be appreciated by adults as well. Many of the songs he wrote became very well known, including The Unicorn, Sylvia's Mother, The Ballad of Lucy Jordan, and his most famous song was probably the one recorded by Johnny Cash, A Boy Named Sue. This poem is called Mr. Grumpledump's Song, and I'm sure we all know a Mr. or Mrs. Grumpledump, and sometimes we are Mr. or Mrs. Grumpledump. Mr. Grumpledump's Song. Everything's wrong. Days are too long. Sunshine's too hot. Wind is too strong. Clouds are too fluffy. Grass is too green. Ground is too dusty. Sheets are too clean. Stars are too twinkly. Moon is too high. Water's too drippy. Sand is too dry. Rocks are too heavy. Feathers too light. Kids are too noisy. Shoes are too tight. Folks are too happy, singing their songs. Why can't they see it? Everything's wrong. And the other Shel Silverstein poem is called The Little Boy and the Old Man. The Little Boy and the Old Man. Said the little boy, sometimes I drop my spoon. Said the little old man, I do that too. The little boy whispered, I wet my pants. I do too, laughed the old man. Said the little boy, I often cry. The old man nodded, so do I. But worst of all, said the boy, it seems grown-ups don't pay attention to me. And he felt the warmth of a wrinkled old hand. I know what you mean, said the little old man.
Thanks, Michael, and greetings to everybody once again. Sometimes people ask me about my own preferences. People like to know if I have a preference for a favourite song, for instance. And generally speaking, I do have my own little favourites. And I'd say no more than everybody else, my preferences are confined, or they are limited by my own limitations. I am very conscious of not being a heavy duty singer. I've no preference for singing loud and heavy, and therefore I'm attracted to the melodic line and the lyricism of the sound. My singing was encouraged most by Irving Fleming, the music director of the Scottsdale Symphony, who invited me to sing concerts with his orchestra way back in 1976 when we had a chance meeting. I think I explained some of this already on a previous presentation, M&M28 or maybe 29. But I remember Irving said to me, you have a natural bel canto. Now, never having had a singing lesson in my life, I didn't really know what bel canto was, and I was too proud to say that I didn't know what it meant. And this was years before Google, so I didn't really know where to begin to find the answer. But anyway, now that I do know the answer to some extent, I recognize that this is why I have the preference for the lyrical and the melodic. After that recording session in our own house in Mayar in 1985, at the end of all that, Paul McGillick said to me, is there another one on you made me, Matt? And I stood at the piano and I found a piece of music on the top of the piano at home. I don't really know why it was there. It wasn't on my repertoire. It just happened to be a song that I liked, and I must have bought the music with the intention of singing it sometime. And I decided this was the time to try it out. That song was Brown Bird Singing. And when all said and done, when all is done and dusted, I should say, at the end of a long life, at the end of singing career, spanning years and years, and trying to get songs right and repeating them, this happens to be, I think, the work that I prefer the most. It got absolutely no practice, was sung only once in my life. And why do I like it? Because I think it contains the best of this quality that they're becoming called my natural bel canto. So I hope you enjoy Brown Bird Singing, accompanied on piano by my wife Dolores.
So that's our offering for this week. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to meeting you again next week on video. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and God bless.